Hi Stampers, this is Judy Anderson over at judystamps.com. Today's technique is going to be lineless watercoloring. With this technique, you will need an ink color of your choice. I'm using Pink Pirouette. You'll need your aqua painter, a stamp set that is got lines. I'm actually going to be using the Stipple Blossoms. I love this stamp. Love, 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 love. Even though it's a two-step stamp, I'm going to be using the detail stamp. And it doesn't have outlines on it, but you'll see how I create the outlines. And that's going to be it. So I'm going to open up my ink pad and we're going to get started. First thing is you're going to ink up your stamp. And you're going to be stamping it, watercolor paper is also very important for this technique. So I'm going to stamp that and get the color. As you see, it's pretty light. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see this. Okay, so when I'm doing the technique, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Scoochie over. Then I'm going to open up my pad so I have the lid. I do have some color left in here. You can close your lid on that and get more ink. Or if you have the re-inker, you can just put some more ink in there with the re-inker. I'm going to take my aqua painter, and first thing is I'm going to squeeze it so that you see the water in this cartridge here. Oops, it's starting to drip out. And when it turns a little bit darker black, you've got the water. Then I'm going to take this and just virtually go in circles and try to spread that ink that's already on there. And this is why it's really important to use your watercolor paper, because this is going to get saturated. Now you see that the lines on there have kind of spread out. And I'm going to turn it around a little bit because I do want to create petals on the bottom here where you don't have outside petals. So I'm just going to move my ink up a little, my pad up a little bit, just so you can kind of see that. I'm just going to pick up some ink. Might zoom out just a little bit for you, might be a little bit easier for you to see. And where the lines are, I'm going to start with my ink there, and then I'm going to kind of go out and create those petals. Now remember, in watercoloring, you don't have definite lines. So that's created those petals. So now I'm going to go back around, and wherever you have stamped lines, you're going to take your ink and just go over those areas. Oh, excuse me. Wasn't expecting that. And I'm just going to go over those lines, because what's going to do is going to bleed those lines out, even along the edge. And once again, don't worry about if you're not staying in lines, if you have an lined image that has outlines. You're just going to continue to go over these. Okay, now normally I would let it dry a little bit. See, it's pretty saturated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fan it a little bit. And hopefully it's going to dry enough. Now you do want it to dry, because what you're going to be doing is layering on more ink. I'm sorry, I've got a frog in my throat today. So I'm going to fan it just a little bit more. And it should be dry enough so that you can see the effect. And then what I'm going to do once again is just go over those lines where the stamp had stamped those lines. And eventually your lines won't disappear, they actually fade into the image, giving the appearance of no lines. This is a great technique to impress your friends if you're not, like me, an artist that can, even though I paint, watercoloring I have a little bit more difficulty with, and the impressionist looks that you get with this. I did more of the toll painting, but my friends and my guests at my events and my customers are always amazed when I do a project using this technique. Now in the center, I'll blow a little bit, hoping that it dries. I'm going to get most of the water out of my aqua painter and just dip it in, and then these little stamens in the middle, I don't want them to be so definite, and they aren't, but by just dotting some ink over the top, it is going to kind of blend those out a little bit. And see, I'm going to zoom in now so you can see this. and put that in, and see how those definite lines have seemed to fade. You have a little bit of it, it's still wet, so you're going to see them, but as it dries, these lines are going to fade a little bit more. And if when it dries, if you find that you need some more ink on there because some of the lines are too definite, then by all means just go over it. And as you can see, it's not really a definite procedure here or technique. Now I want to share with you, because this looks really dark, but once again it is Pink Pirouette, it is lighter. Here is a project that I did with using the same stamp set, same colors. I'll share with you. And see that? I'm going to zoom in so you can see how once the water dries, everything just kind of blends in. And see how those, oh, it's a little bit blurry. See how those lines in here have faded? I'll show you again. Put this one over the top. See how you can see those lines still? As it dries, once again, those lines fade a little bit. And as you can see, you can even do the green next to it. I did let the pink dry, and then I did the leaves, and same technique. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this technique and have fun playing with it. And we hope to see you again. Happy stamping!